Ben Apute Ochiko here, a writer, author, public speaker, but like I always say, most importantly, a youth capacity development enthusiast. It's a brand new day and thank you for the privilege to share 3 to 4 minutes of your time, if I get my facts right, to share it with you. I quickly want to talk on a topic that is very, very sensitive, and I mean every word of it when I say it's very, very sensitive to me, and I think it's sensitive to Nigeria as a nation, and of course Africa. I'm talking about suicide. Now, this one topic I didn't really want to delve into because I feel people have different experiences, and if you're not immersed in such experience, you might not be able to tell the story from their own perspective. Now, life deals with us in different shades, right? So your experience is different from mine is different from yours, and what have you. But I'm beginning to get touched, really, and I feel it's time we need to begin to have conversations like this, to bring up topics like this, where we could really throw more light on topics like this and also help to solve, or attempt to solve some of these problems. Now, I was really touched by one of the recent suicide case that happened in this part of Nigeria in the south, where an undergraduate, a young, promising lady, took her own life. Terminated her own life because a fellow undergraduate like her cheated her. Now, I'm struggling to make sense of that. Why do people look at themselves and decide to take their own lives? Why? Now, if you study suicide cases, you understand that suicide and depression are like Siamese twins. They are mutually inclusive. So for every suicide case, most times stems out of hopelessness or depression. So suicide will usually happen when people cannot see beyond the immediate, right? Where there seems to be no viable solution out of the immediate challenges, or no viable options available. So people can basically see beyond the hazy blue sky. They can't see the tiny line of breakthrough. Now, don't get me wrong, I've had my own fair share of hard times where I've basically hit the bottom rock hard, where I felt, what am I living for? But somehow, by the grace of God, I was able to wriggle out of it. So what I'm going to lay to you today is basically some of the things that I feel can help someone who is in that point or in that position. Probably you are depressed or you're struggling with hopelessness. The reason you will commit suicide as a young millennial or take your own life is basically because, one, you don't have an understanding of who you are. You lack what we call self-knowledge. Now, if you understand that the human mind is powerful, so elastic, that it can accommodate whatever comes before it and overcome it, you are going to run the risk of thinking that you got no chance, irrespective of what the challenge is. I don't care. Now, self-knowledge is strongly linked to lack of understanding of one's purpose. So you have a lot of people who don't even understand their purpose on earth. And the moment you don't understand your purpose, life does not make sense to you. But if you have a fundamental understanding of your purpose, that you carry the solution to the challenges that happen in your environment, you're not going to play small with your destiny. And you're not going to allow because somebody jilted you, then you're going to take your life. For goodness sake. We have close to about 1.8 billion people on the surface of the earth, and you killed yourself because just one person cheated you. Does it make sense? So another reason is because a lot of us don't have friends that believes in our potential. So growing up, I had issues with, making headway in life. There was a time I hit hard on the brick, and it seems as if my whole world was crashing. I graduated, I had no job and all of that. But luckily for me, I had a mentor who believed in me much more than I believed in myself. So this guy will always walk up to me and say, Ben, you're better than this. You could do this. I see you doing this. I see you do that. Truth be told, there are times I go home and I feel, I think this guy is just flattering me. But for every time he does that, I go back home rejuvenated. So I feel an internal strength and energy to push on and to see that there is hope beyond the immediate challenge. So a lot of us don't have friends who are cheerleaders or people who believe in us. And of course, lastly, a lot of us don't get ourselves involved in things we are passionate about. Immerse yourself in areas you're passionate about. Get jobs that you're passionate about. Study courses you are passionate about. Learn skills in areas that you have passion for. And you'll be amazed at how focused, how immersed you are in that sphere of influence. And of course, you won't have time for anybody who's going to give you any reason to take your own life or commit suicide. My name is Ben Apute Ochukwu. Thank you.